Okay, with Michael Munz, 333 is the short film playing at the Thriller Suspense Festival, 7 minutes long. You're from Glen Head, New York. Where's Glen Head, New York?
It's on Long Island. So it's on the north side of Long Island. It's kind of like a small little town. Pretty much, if you ask anyone on Long Island, they're like, "Where the hell is that?" But yeah, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. But it's quiet. It's a nice little place. I lived there my whole life. Grew up there,
Well, a
and yeah,
lot of famous people come from Long Island, so there's
yeah.
a long line of people. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it's a great place to grow up. I mean, it's quiet. It's near the city still, so like you can go into the city in like 30 minutes maybe, but it's still like you get a little bit of peace of quiet, not having to hear the traffic at night and stuff. Um, but
So you're a young filmmaker. Are you going to film school? Are you in film school?
I'm not. No, so I'm 18. I'm a senior in high school.
Okay.
So I did this kind of as a project with a lot of my friends. So we kind of just got together and we were like, all right, let's make something. Um, And so I'm going to college for finance, actually. Completely different path. I've considered a minor in film. We'll see what happens. I know I definitely want to pursue it as a hobby for sure, and then maybe it will eventually turn into a business. I mean, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But not as it stands right now.
So you want to make money, finance.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What's the motivation to make money?
I don't know. I mean, my uncle's a stockbroker, and I was always kind of fascinated with what he did. And I joined business club. We have a business club at our school. I would say last year maybe, and I kind of just fell in love with it. I mean, it's an interesting field, but I'm kind of like mathematically inclined and stuff, so numbers kind of come easy to me. So to me, it seemed like the right choice at the time. But yeah.
Speaking of mathematically inclined, you have 333 in your film, right? So is there a
Yeah.
symbol to that? To
Well,
those
actually,
numbers?
funnily enough, it wasn't originally titled 333. It was originally titled 312. And the whole point of the concept was at 3:12 a.m., the monster was going to come out and attack. And on set, we kept forgetting to reset the clock. So in post-production, I was like, wow, we didn't reset the clock. So it actually ended up being 333, kind of by chance, but it was kind of ironic, and we kind of just went with it at
Yeah.
that point.
Well, from a mathematical standpoint, everything's divisible by threes. You
Right.
can't round that off, right? Like there's something kind of like horrific or like there's a creepy vibe to
Yeah, well, I think
333.
I think it's like supposed to be mocking the Trinity, I guess, and like a lot of like evil and
Yeah.
yeah, so it kind of like when we kind of made it and we saw that we were like, huh, that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Like that's kind of cool. But it was kind of totally by coincidence that's what it was titled. And yeah,
So according to the internet, it says that 333 it represents spiritual growth, balance, and creative alignment. And it often signals that body, mind, and spirits, the three kind of cogs of like humanity, mind, body, and spirit are in harmony in one. So
I did not know that. That's really fascinating, actually.
it's an angel number,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah. So we're all kind of like when are we ever kind of connected, all three elements of ourselves connected? Not very often. So
That's pretty cool.
all right. So good job. I saw this was from high school, so I'm like, this is a pretty good. I see a lot of high school films, a lot,
Yeah.
and you're in the top tier. So maybe you should think about making a career out of this. But let's talk about the film itself. So what is your experience like, kind of pulling this together, producing a film? This is your first time, kind of bringing
Um,
your friends together and stuff, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so I actually it was my dream. So I started filmmaking like I think it was 6 years ago. It was right before COVID. My grandma bought me a GoPro, and that's what I would go around and take movies on. And like I don't think I had Premiere at the time. I think maybe I was on like DaVinci, and I was like throwing
Yeah.
together GoPro footage. And then my dream eventually was to buy a cinema camera. And so last summer I finally saved up enough money and I bought a Red, which I was so excited about. I was like, I bought a Red. I was like, I'm gonna make so many movies, and then I'm sitting there. It's months and months, and I haven't done anything. I'm like, I have this awesome camera,
Yeah.
and it's just collecting dust, uh, you know. And I was like, I got to do something. So I had a couple of my friends who came together and were like, we're gonna make a short film. Like, I gotta get this camera to use. I gotta make something. So in November I started scripting, and I'm pretty sure I had the script done by mid-December, and kind of we started building a budget and storyboarding, and we shot in January. I want to say it was two Fridays in January we shot it. Um, it was so cool because I mean I didn't expect the amount of people to participate that did. I mean I figured we'd have like two or three people, and then I had like 10 to 15 people, and they're like, "Can we be in it? Can we be?" So like I'm having a crew of like 10 people at my house. It was pretty awesome actually to be on set and just kind of you know be in the
Yeah.
experience, I guess.
So the red camera motivated you, and it's like it's classic humanity where like you get something and it just kind of sits and collects dust, and you finally have to get up and do something about it, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, I feel like every filmmaker, it's like the obsession with just collecting gear. We always want the coolest gear and the flashiest cameras. You know.
So okay, so tell me about the actors like who performed in the film.
So my three friends technically. So Logan, Conrad, who plays Officer Con. So Logan plays the main character John, and then my friend Conrad plays Officer Conrad, and then we have Liam Robinson who plays the creature. And he's the guy in the blanket. He was my tallest friend, so it made the most sense. And none of them ever acted before, and I truly tried not to give them any instruction because I know them as people, and I wanted them to bring that same energy to the film because I knew what they were like as people, and so like I really wanted them to bring that same energy to set.
Easier said than done though, right?
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a learning curve, but my friend Logan Marcis, who plays John, really came in and it was fantastic. Like he came in and just blew me away, and none of us were expecting him to be a great actor, but I mean he did a lot of things that I wouldn't have thought to point out. And I was doing my best as a director, kind of to like not be like, oh, do this, do that, and just kind of be like, this is what I want you to look like, or like kind of emotions portray, and just let him go and do his own thing and have his own kind of creative,
Yeah.
yes, perspective
So
on it.
what I liked about your film, and which I found it profound and interesting, and is that you ever see the movie Jaws?
I have, but not in a long time. It's been
Okay, so
a
basically,
while.
it's the Jaws effect, meaning that it's the fear of the shark more than the shark itself, meaning that you didn't see the shark until the end of the movie, but you saw like the effects of it, the ripple effects of it. And then that's what you kind of do in your film where like everybody can kind of relate to this, where it's the middle of the night, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you hear something downstairs, and it's like it probably just could be it's probably nothing, right? Like nine times out of ten, it's nothing, something, a spoon falls out, whatever, right? But it's the fear of that sound more than the person downstairs, right?
That's like Alfred. Was it Alfred Hitchcock who said the anticipation of the bang is scarier than the bang itself,
There you
or
go.
like
Right.
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what you did in your film. That's classic
Yeah.
thriller. Right? That's what you did in
Yeah.
your film, right?
Yeah. I think the goal really was to kind of draw the suspense out as much as possible. So I think me and my assistant director Michael Ferrari kind of talked about it, especially early in the scripting process. Like, how do we build this to have as little scares as possible, but still be so effective? And I think a lot of that was just, I think we wanted to have very long takes, especially in the most, I guess, climactic scenes, and definitely make sure it was quiet in those scenes where you really felt like you were with the actor, and it was like, whoa, something's gonna happen here, and just drag it on a little longer than we have to. So it's a little uneasy, just, in terms of pacing psychologically, you kind of are like, wow, that shot's a little longer than it should be.
Yeah. And so where did this idea spawn from you? Where did you remember when you got the idea?
I always love horror movies. I mean, my favorite movie probably is The Conjuring. Like, I always love those classic ghost story movies. I know as a kid, I was kind of obsessed with ghost hunting, and I would get those fake ghost hunting apps and like go around my house and be like, "Oh, there's a ghost in the closet," and like, you know, that stuff. But I always knew that I wanted to do horror, especially for my first film. Mostly because I think drafting scares and stuff, it's really a cool way to get the audience super hooked quickly. I mean, especially with like drama and other things, you really have to build a relationship with the character until you start feeling emotion with them. But I feel like in horror, you can kind of throw someone in and they could be scared pretty quickly if you really just gets the suspense right.
If done,
Uh,
yeah, done right.
yeah.
So so you shot for 2 days, the two different days,
Yeah,
right?
it was two different weekends.
Different weekends.
We shot 2 weeks apart, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Did you how did you or did you get a cop car or how did you manipulate the cop
So
car?
my friend bought a Crown Vic for his first car, and he was super excited about it. So we bought a Crown Vic, and we always joke that it's a cop car. So I have like Pavo tubes, like little light tubes, and they
Okay.
have a police car mode. And he's been begging me forever to do a photo shoot with like cop car lights in his car. So it was kind of just a perfect opportunity. I was like, hey, do you want to be a fake cop car for the film? And he was actually the guy who played the cop in the movie. So it was just worked out super perfectly. And I mean, he was like hell yeah and super down for it. And I think he honestly did a great job portraying the cop. I mean, he's kind of a naturally funny guy, but he also fits kind of the rigid cop build. So I think he really played the role perfectly. But yeah.
So then you started like you got the footage done, you shot it, everybody seems excited. You were in the editing, were you like happy? Were you like worried? Like how was your
I
experience in
think
editing?
it was great actually because after the first weekend, so the way I kind of staggered the shoot is we only had the creature in the blanket on one shoot day.
Yeah,
Um, so that was on the second day. So the first day we shot scenes one through, I want to say it's 1 through 4. There were 7 scenes. So 1 through 4, which is all the scenes with John, which is our main actor. And we shot all that on one day. And so I got the footage all on my computer and I got to at least see everything and be like, okay, this is good. And we had time for reshoots. We actually did reshoot half of scene 1 and a little bit of scene 3 on the second day because we had a lot of extra time. And then we shot scenes 5 through 7 on the second day, which those kind of went pretty quickly. I mean, they were also in the same room, so we kind of relit them through the same thing that we did for scenes 1 and 3 that we reshot.
yeah.
Um, and then we just had some filler shots where we did like the foyer and outside that same night, just a little later in the night. And yeah,
So then in editing, are you like excited about putting it all together? Like how's
I
your
was
editing
I
experience?
was I was stoked. I mean, I could not get it done quick enough, and at this point, like I feel like I might have watched it 150 times. I mean, it's definitely been a lot because it was just like I'd make a couple edits, then it'd be like, all right, we're gonna rewatch it all over again, and then I'd make a couple edits. I'm like, I need to watch it all over again. And every time I do it, like I try to take notes, and I think the editing process is around 2 to 3 weeks, and I think my goal kind of was every day just sit down with like a post-it note and just make one critique, even if it wasn't like anything big, even if it was like let's change the exposure when the flashlight goes out. Just little critiques and stuff. And every day I tried to make one change. And I think that kind of helped a little bit because like trying to do everything at once, it becomes like, wow, this is a lot to deal with. But I think spreading it out like that, and it also helps you notice the finer details and pick them up. This way, people don't be like, oh, why is that there? Why is it like that? Feed out all the errors.
Yeah, exactly. So then what about like the sound? Did you do the sound as well?
Yeah, so I have like a mic for my computer. It's a pretty good mic. It's a Shure mic. And I bought a boom pole for it. And instead of using like an XLR recorder, I have an XLR to USB. Um, I guess it's a mixer. And so we
Yeah.
recorded everything actually on my laptop. And it was kind of funny. So we had like a laptop in the corner of the room and we had somebody with a boom pole. And it actually came out great. And the way we did it is we had somebody with like Bluetooth headphones in connected to the computer so you could listen to it. And I mean, the sound I think came out pretty fantastic, especially, none of these guys have ever operated sound before. I think I'm one of
Yeah.
me and my assistant director, are the only ones that know anything about film. Nobody else is at all they don't know anything really. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like a learning curve for everyone. But it was great to see everyone kind of understanding like you could still have fun while doing this and this is kind of the way it works and that stuff. So
But sometimes on film sets it gets a little monotonous and boring though, right? So
yeah, a
something
little. I think we were doing our best as a crew to just have fun and make
Yeah,
jokes. Like we were making jokes all the time. I think originally it was kind of like, wow, this is a lot to tackle, especially like the first hour. We had dinner, and then like the first hour we were on set, it was kind of like, wow, how are we going to tackle this? And I think after the first two or three takes, we kind of realized like, all right, this is gonna flow pretty quickly, and we kind of just all mutually realized like, all right, this is the productive workflow we have. This is the efficiency we have to keep up with, and everyone kind of knew their place, which is kind of great. Like I know I had my sound guy, I had a BTS guy, and everyone knew like, all right, this is what I got to do when we call slate or action, and everyone kind of picked up really quickly, which was really fantastic, especially for me because I wasn't playing babysitter. I was like, able to play director, and everyone was kind of behaving pretty well, especially with 10 people, 10 high school kids on set. You could see how it could get pretty
yeah,
chaotic.
yeah. Was it all men, all male too, or
So we had, I think it was 8 guys and 2 girls for the first day, and then the second day was, um, I want to say 10 guys and 1 girl. It
okay,
was my two of my friends' girlfriends really want to be involved in the project. So
gotcha.
like I think the bang on the door in one of the scenes was my friend's girlfriend. And she was like, I'm gonna let the door have it. I was like, sure. I was like, hit it as hard as you want. Yeah.
And then
And
when you finished the film, you showed it to everybody.
yeah, so we did. I screened it like 3 or 4 times because I didn't have everyone here at once, and I screened it a couple times. And I had pretty positive reviews across the board. Everybody loved it. And I don't think anyone expected the final product to be the way it was. I mean, I know I have a vision in my head, and everyone kind of makes their own vision when they read the
Sure.
script. I think
Yeah,
to see the final product the way it came out, and I think a lot of people were skeptical the way I kind of directed things that like, I carried shots super long
oh
and
yeah.
things didn't flow necessarily. Like we kind of shot out of order a little bit.
Sorry,
So
that's classic. Like everybody second guessed the leader, right? So you gotta get used to
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah. It was a little bit of like, why are you doing it like that? Or like, what do you mean?
yeah,
And like the scene where the actor crawls into the closet behind the clothes, like that's not even a real closet. I actually built like a plywood
yeah.
box, and I put like fake clothes there, and that was like shot in my basement. So like everyone was kind of like, how is this gonna flow and make sense? And so I think when everyone kind of saw it on the screen and realized like, wow, this really came out great, I think it
Must have
restored a lot
made
of
you,
confidence.
but yeah, it must have made you feel good. Must have made like,
Oh,
yeah,
it was awesome. I mean, I think I might have screened it at least 15, 20 times now to people, and it's like it's just cool every time. Like it's like because people laugh like when Officer Conrad's snoring in his
yeah,
car, and like people are like kind of jump when the
yeah.
bang happens on the door. I think my mom has jumped at least 5 times when
I heard
she's
there
heard
was
the
a
bang on the
complaint from the
door.
Long Island police for that portrayal of the cop. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, we had no issues with the police, which was great because I wasn't sure how like the police lights in the car would go. I'm like, gotta make sure the car stays on the property, like
yeah.
not on the roadway. Yeah.
So what motivated you to send the festivals then, like ours?
I think it was just a matter of going on Film Freeway and being like, all right, I knew that this wouldn't be my first short, and I was like, you know what? I think the goal here would be, let's see where I can put it that would match the horror and thriller category
Yeah,
and kind of still like I didn't really want to wait like a year or two or almost to like hear back. They don't want to wait like 7 months to hear back from a festival. I wanted something that was somewhat um I guess current.
yeah,
So I submitted to mostly festivals with deadlines in like March and February.
yeah,
Um, and so I think the goal kind of was just to whatever seemed like it had the biggest audience, and would gain the most following. I think our budget overall was around $900, and I think $500 of that was for festivals. So I think we submitted to around 14
yeah.
or 15, I think. And at this
So
point, I think we
how's it feel to get in the festivals?
it's pretty cool actually. I mean, getting a little acceptance letter like, Film Freeway has updated the judging status is pretty cool to see that
Yeah.
coming in. So that's I mean, it's awesome. You know, I'm just excited to see where I'll go in the future, I guess. And I have a next film I'm working on. Actually, I'm going to shoot next week. So
That was
we'll
my
see.
next question. So you're gonna make another film?
Yeah. So the next one's gonna be a comedy. Actually,
Okay.
uh, I kind of shifted from the horror drama, at least temporarily. I do have scripts for other horror
Comedy
short.
stuff. Comedy. That's hard to nail that tone.
Yeah, yeah. So it's me and my Officer Conrad Mastrangelo, who plays Officer Conrad, helped me script it, and it's kind of like it's like stupid humor. Like, to give a little spoiler, I guess, like there's a buddy and a fisherman, and the fisherman's fishing in his backyard. But the funny part is he's fishing in a kiddie pool.
Yeah.
And so it's just like kind of like comedian comes outside. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm fishing in a kiddie pool. And it's just kind of like stupid humor
Yeah.
spread throughout. So I'm hoping that that will have a good reaction when I screen that and that's edited. I think a lot of the jokes I put in there are just they're funny on their own and just with the visual component of being how ridiculous it's going to be, I
Yeah.
think it will really do pretty well. And yeah,
You got that. There's an old saying that the first film, not that it's easy, but the second film, that's when you know when and that's the hardest film ever to make.
yeah, yeah. I
It's
mean, it
like,
might be.
no, no, no.
But
It's just it's more about. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
yeah,
I'm trying to say that like just be like don't be overconfident. Be like overly prepared. Like just
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like just kind of like just like don't like take it for granted. Don't take things for granted because sometimes people have success in the first film. They're like, "Oh, I got this," right? And you never got
right,
it in film. You never got
yeah.
it, right?
I
Even the
think
great,
I think the way I look at it, and I've kind of taken a lot of inspiration from. I mean, I think the two people I've probably watched the most are Danny Gewirtz and Giancarlo Stigliano. They're both big YouTubers, and I feel like a lot of their stuff is run and gun. So for me, I kind of take to that run and gun lifestyle. I mean, I've never been on set, so for me, it's kind of like I
yeah,
like that snappy pace and just trying to like let's just shoot some stuff and have fun. I mean, I do like narrative. I don't really love like when you throw compilations of stuff together. I'd rather always shoot something with a script. But
yeah,
like having such a staggered process where I need such a crew of people to handle it is kind of like a lot. Like it's fun to also be like, all right, like this is what we got to shoot. Like let's just like shoot some stuff. Like if you want to improv and like I'm all for it.
yeah,
And I think it's just you got to kind of go with the process and like adapt on set. If something doesn't work out, you got to be ready to move on and have a new
yeah,
idea, pretty quickly.
yeah. Be prepared, but also be ready for improvisation. So.
Yeah,
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the film. I'm glad it's getting out to our festival. And like I listen, my favorite things is to show young filmmakers films and like get it out there and like because you don't know where your career is going
right.
and like I said, something you can get into finance and you could do both. You could learn finance and finance your films and
Yeah.
there you go.
Every I think every film team probably or at least feature film definitely has some sort of finance guy telling them like,
Yeah.
"It's your
You could
horses.
be
We don't
both.
have that type
Yeah.
of budget."
Yeah. You could be both. What school,
Yeah,
if you don't mind me asking,
Fairfield University.
where's that?
It's in Connecticut.
Sorry,
So
what was the school again?
Fairfield,
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah. Okay.
so
Gotcha.
not too far from home. I've been told from my mom and my dad that I got to stay
Mhm.
within a 5 hour radius of home. So
But at the same time, it's like you get to,
yeah, I
have the
can come home on the
experience.
weekends and do
Yeah.
whatever else. So it works out great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to be, they're hounding you. You're going to have still your independence, I guess. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Although I'm sure I'll get a phone call at least a couple times a week.
Funny thing that is that I just talked to a filmmaking crew in Connecticut, like just yesterday. And they're saying that there's a huge rise of filmmaking in Connecticut, independent
Really
film. So,
interesting.
yeah, so check that out too. It's like they're doing like these like air like like Uber, like they're doing this Uber driver
Yeah,
series and they're like getting new directors like yourself to like script a new like a 5 minute episode of an Uber driving experience and kind of using different
interesting.
genres and stuff like that. So
That's kind of cool.
yeah,
And
no,
then
no, and they're like they're championing new filmmakers like yourself. So it's in Connecticut. So it seems like they're trying to get out of the shadow of New York City, right? So
awesome.
all right, just
All
something to
right.
keep in mind. All right, have a
Thank
good
you.
one and let me know when your next film's made. I'll love to see it.
I will. I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a